This is a recording. This is a recording for the book On Screen B1 Plus, pages 106 and 107. Please open your student's book and go to page 106, 106, section 1. Okay, so let's go to section 1. It says, conditional. Ask Abby, listen and read the extract from a magazine. So you're going to listen and read the extract, this extract from a magazine. So listen and read.
Ask Abby. Advice for everyone.
I wish I were thinner. I hardly eat anything, but I still can't lose weight.
If you have time to watch TV or go shopping with your friends, then you have time to exercise. Why not join the gym today?
I love exercising, but I want to be more muscular. What can I eat to make this happen?
If you eat plenty of protein and work out regularly, you will soon become stronger and fitter.
I have terrible indigestion all the time. I chew my food well, but my stomach still grumbles and it's very painful.
If I had your symptoms, I would make an appointment with a doctor.
I wish I didn't have so many spots. Could they be connected to my diet?
At your age, it's more likely to be the changes you're going through. I remember when I had spots. If I'd had the chance, I would have done anything to get rid of them. Why don't you see a dermatologist?
Okay, guys, so let's go to the next part. Now, read the extract again and find all the examples of conditional clauses. We are going to review all the conditional clauses this time. So let's start with this. Let me use a tool so I can show you. So let's start here, right here. It says, and we start here. If you have time to watch TV or go shopping with your friends, then you have time to exercise. So we're going to do this a little faster. Okay, we're going to use this. This is an first example. Second example, if you eat plenty of protein and work out regularly, you will soon become stronger and fitter. Third example, if I had your symptoms, I could make an appointment with a doctor. Last example, if I'd had a chance, I could have done anything to get rid of them. Now, we're going to identify each type of conditional. But before we start, we're going to make a review of conditional 0, conditional 1, conditional 2, and conditional 3, okay? Okay, guys, so let me explain you about the 0 conditional. Let's start with 0 conditional. Now, we can make a 0 conditional, okay, sentence, usually with 2 present simples, verbs, one in the if clause and one in the main clause. Now, 0 conditionals, they are used, usually the main use is for something that always is going to happen. And you can see here the structure, it says if plus present simple, and in the if part, Now, in the result, you need to have also a present simple or sometimes an imperative. Now, this conditional is used when the result will always happen. Usually, this type of conditional are used for facts, general truths, or general laws, okay? Here are some examples. For example, if water reaches 100 degrees, now it boils. This is always true. This is a scientific law. Another one, if I eat peanuts, I'm sick. So this is another fact. Perhaps you are allergic to peanuts. That's why if you eat peanuts, you get sick. This is only true only for me, maybe not for everyone, but it's still true that I'm sick. Here are some more examples. If people eat too much, they get fat. This is a general truth. If you touch a fire, you get burned. This is another general truth. People die if they don't eat. This is another general truth. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen. This is another truth. Snakes bite if they are scared. Yes. If babies are hungry, they cry. So we can see that 0 conditional is something that is called the real conditional. Okay, we are going to study that there are 2 types of conditional, real and unreal conditionals. Now, let's start with another review for the first, second, and third conditional that we're going to study during this unit. Okay, guys, so let's start the review. Okay, so let's see. We start with conditional sentence. And let's start. Conditional sentences are also known as conditional clauses. That's another name. Or if clauses. Now, there are conditional sentences are used to express that the action in the main clause in the part that doesn't have if can only take place, can only happen if a certain condition in the clause in the part that has if is fulfilled. In other words, you're going to have two parts in a conditional, okay? You're going to have the if part plus, okay, the condition. And then you're going to have the result, okay? Now, only if the condition is fulfilled, the result will happen, okay? Now, let's go to the next part. There are two kinds of conditional sentences, real and unreal. Real conditional describes real life situations. Unreal conditional describes unreal imaginary situations. However, there are three types of conditional sentences, and we're going to study them. We have already studied the zero conditional, but we're going to study the first, the second, and the third conditional. And also, okay, so what do these sentences tell us about reality? If you work hard, you'll succeed. If you worked hard, you would succeed. And if you had worked hard, you would have succeeded. Now, here we can see that we have the three conditionals. First conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. The first conditional is called the real conditional. Second conditional is called the hypothetical conditional. And third conditional is called the unreal conditional, okay? Let's start with the first conditional, a touch of reality. Now, oops, sorry, let me take this, okay? In the first conditional, we are going to have in the if part, present simple, and in the main clause, in the result, we're going to use will. For example, if I see him, I will give him the book. If I don't see him, I will phone him in the evening. The order of the clauses can be reversed. In this case, do not use a comma. You can see that we use a comma. Now, I will phone him in the evening if I don't see him. What is the use of conditional one? Conditional sentences type 1 refers to the future. An action in the future will only happen if a certain condition is fulfilled by that time. In other words, an action will happen only if a certain condition happens. For example, let me give you an example. If you study hard, comma, then in the result, you will pass the test, okay? So we can see that in the first part, in this part, we can see that it's in present simple, okay? And in the second part, we can see that, so if this condition happens, if you study hard, then we'll have this result in the future. This is called the real conditional, okay? First conditional is called also the real conditional. Now let's go to the next part, okay? We don't know for sure whether the condition actually will be fulfilled, will happen or not. But the condition seems rather realistic, so we think it's likely to happen. Now, in the first conditional, we are not for sure that this will happen, like in the zero conditional, but this is almost like 80% probability of possibility that this will happen. Now, here's some exercise. If I go away on holiday this year, what will happen? What will happen? Okay, so let's do these exercises very quickly. Okay. So if I go away on holiday this year, I will be relaxed. If I lose all my money, I will lend money. I will ask you for money. If we get too much homework, we won't sleep. If my friend gets into trouble, I will help him. If we finish early today, we will go to home. We will go home. I'll eat my hat if you pass the test. So this, the first conditional is a conditional that is very likely to happen. Let's go with the use of unless. Unless means if not. Now, here the Spanish version is better. Unless significa a menos que. Okay, so, for example, if you don't run, you'll miss the bus. If we use unless, we don't use if you don't. We use unless, and we use you run in affirmative. Unless you run, you'll miss the bus. So here we need to use the Spanish version, unless, a menos que tú corras, tú perderás el autobús. Okay? So the use of unless is extremely simple using the Spanish version. Unless significa a menos que. Okay? Now, second conditional. The second conditional is called the hypothetical conditional because this conditional is like a 50% probability that it will happen. Okay? There is still hope, but it's rather unrealistic. So let's see. In the second conditional, we're going to use past simple in the if part, and in the result part, we're going to use good. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a house. So it may happen that you won the lottery, so we use past simple, and in the second part, we're going to use good. I would buy a house. Let's see. If I had a car, comma, I wouldn't talk to school. Okay, so I wouldn't walk to school. So we can see that in the first part, we have simple past. Okay, if I had a car, what is the reality? I don't have a car. If I had a car, what? I wouldn't walk to school. Now, also, the order of the clauses can be reversed. In this case, do not use a comma. For example, I would read more if I didn't watch so much TV. Okay, guys? Now, use of conditional type 2. The use of conditional type 2 is an unreal conditional. It's something that is not true. It might happen, but usually it won't happen. The unreal conditional is used to talk about improbable conditions or impossible situations, okay? Please take a look to the example carefully. Conditional sentence, true fact 1, true fact 2. So if John had money, he would buy a Ferrari. What is the true? True fact 1, John doesn't have money, so he will not buy a Ferrari. True fact 2, John buys an ordinary car. So what is the true? We use the second conditional also to refer to make reference to things that we would like to be different, but they aren't, okay? Here's another example. So we have the conditional sentence. If I found her address, I would send her an invitation. What is the true? I don't find her address, so I will not send her an invitation. Now, where instead of was. Now, in conditional sentence type 1, we usually use where, even if the pronoun is, like he, she, or it. We don't use was in conditional sentence type 2. Now, usually in conditional type 2, we use where instead of was, okay? If I know, I was, you were, he was. Instead of saying if I was, we use if I were, you. I would tell her. So, here we have some examples. So let's see. If cars didn't exist, what? We would have to walk. If I were rich, I would buy a Ferrari. If my best friend won the lottery, I would ask him for some money. We would, if we couldn't speak English, we would learn French. Okay, so remember, second conditional is an unreal conditional. There's still hope that this might happen, but it's like 25% of probability that this will happen. Okay, so let's go to the third conditional. Third conditional is called the unreal conditional. It's totally impossible that this will happen. Never, never, never will happen in the third conditional. In the third conditional, we're going to use past perfect. So in the third conditional, this is something that will never, ever happen. In the if part, we're going to use past perfect. In the main part, or in the result, we're going to use good plus have plus past participle. Okay. Here, let me show you. Okay, there is an example. If I, and we use past perfect, I had seen you. Okay. What is the result? I would plus have plus the parent past participle. I would have said hello. So what is the true? I didn't see you, so I didn't say hello. And we use, okay, the third conditional make reference to something that is in the past. That's why it's impossible to change it. Let's see the next example. If you had told me the truth, I would have forgiven you. Okay. So what is the truth? The truth. You didn't tell me the truth. So I didn't forgive you. Okay, and you can see that the third condition make reference. So you can see that the third conditional refers to something that is impossible. Now the order of the clauses can be reversed. In this case, do not use a comma. For example, I would have forgiven you. What? If you had told me the truth. So you can interchange, okay, the places, and there is no problem. The use of conditional type tree. Conditional type tree is an unreal past conditional. The unreal conditional is used to speculate about imaginary situations, something that is not real, or you regret about something in the past, okay? So we're going to stop here the review, and we're going to come back to your student's book. Okay, so we're back. So let's continue. Let's identify the type of conditionals in the extract. You have time to watch TV or go shopping with your friends. Then you have time to exercise. So here we have to decide what type of conditional it is, and you can see you have time, present simple, you have time to watch TV or go shopping, present simple. Then you have present simple, so it's type 0. If you eat plenty of protein and work out regularly, you will soon become stronger and fitter. So this is type 1. Is still a real conditional, something that it is very likely to happen in the future. Now, if I had your symptoms, I would make an appointment. So we can see that in the first part is simple past. The second part is good plus a very simple form. And this refers to something unreal. If I had your symptoms, what is the reality? I don't have your symptoms. Now, third conditional, if I had the chance. So here is past perfect. I would plus have plus the past participle, and this is type 3. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, get ready. Now complete the table. Are there similar structure in your language? And we can see that we have type 0, if plus when plus present simple or the imperative. So this is the zero conditional. As I told you, we use present simple, if or when, present simple. And in the result part of the main clause, we use also present simple or the imperative. And it's used for a general truth or scientific fact. Let's see the first conditional. In the first conditional, we use present simple. Now, in the result part, we use will, okay, plus the infinitive without to, plus the very simple form. And the first conditional is the use is for something real, likely to happen in the present or future. Likely, very likely. Second conditional, if plus past simple, okay? And here, number 2, we're going to have, we need to use good plus the infinitive without to. This is for unreal in the present or future. Now, in the third conditional, we use if plus past perfect plus good plus have plus past participle. This is for something imaginary in the past, okay? Please check your answer and let's go to the next part. Section 2. Put every brackets into the correct tense. Now, when you toothcake, you go to the dentist. So you can see that here, in the result part, in the main clause, in the result part, the very simple present. So this is a zero conditional. When you have a toothcake, you go to the dentist. Now, number 2, I buy some fresh fruit. If, now, look very carefully. I have gone to the street market. So this is past perfect. So this is the third conditional. The structure is then, I would have, past participle of buy is bought some fresh fruit if I'd gone to the street market. Now, number 3, if I were you. So we can see that in the first part, in the if part, sorry, the is in simple past. So in the second part, you need to use good. In this case, couldn't, the negative, good, couldn't, or could not, couldn't eat, okay, ready meals. So this is the second conditional. You can use the contraction or the full form. Now, if you join the gym, now the first part is in present simple. Now, this is something that probably will happen in the future. If you join the gym, this is not a general truth. What happened? I will go with you, okay? Now, number 5, Mia, not be in pain if she had followed the doctor's advice. Let's see, we have she, we have had, and follow. This is past perfect. So in the first part, we need to use good. In this case, we're going to use the contraction couldn't. Then we need to use have, and the perfect form of the verb to be, that is being in pain, if she had follows doctor's advice. Number 6. Now let's go to the next part. It says number 6. If I know pull a muscle, I would have been able to play in the basketball match. And let's see, you have this table in your student's book. You can see that here, in the second part, you have I would have plus the past participle. So you have would have plus the past participle. It's something imaginary referring to the past in the past. So the first part, in the if part, you need to use past perfect. So let's use past perfect. If I had not, or you prefer the contraction if you hadn't. Past participle of pull is a regular verb. If you hadn't pulled a muscle, or if you had not pulled a muscle, I would have been able to play in a basketball match. Number 7, it's easier to digest your food. Okay, if you, now, let's take a look very closely, okay? It says, it's easier, so to digest your food. Now, it's in present simple. You have the present simple of the verb to be. So let's see if you have present simple in the result part, in this part, present simple or the imperative. Then in the if part, you are going to have also present simple. So it is easier to digest your food if you chew it well. Now, this is something important. Here is the zero conditional because generally speaking, this will always happen. If you chew carefully your food, then it is easier to digest your food. It's easier to digest your food. Okay. Let's go to number 8. If Tom give up smoking, he would feel a lot healthier. So let's continue. Number 8. If Tom give up smoking, he would feel a lot healthier. Let's take a look to the table again. In the we can see here that we have he, good, and the very simple form. And that's the second conditional, good, plus the very simple form, infinitive without to. So in the if part, we need to use the past simple. If Tom gave up smoking, he would feel a lot healthier. Please check your answer and let's go to the next part. Now identify the type of conditionals. So get ready. Okay, so let's start. When you have a toothache, you go to the dentist. Present simple and present simple. Type 0. If I would have bought some fresh fruit if I gone to the street market. You can see good plus have plus past participle, and in the if part, past perfect. That's type 3. 3. If I were you, I wouldn't eat ready meals. So simple past and good and the use of good plus the very simple form. That's type 2. If you join the gym, I will go with you. Present simple plus will. That's type 1. Sorry. Mia would not have been in pain. So in this case, we're using would plus have plus past participle. And if she had followed the actor's advice. And you have in the if part, the subject, have the past perfect, sorry. That's type 3. If I hadn't pulled a muscle, I would have been able to play in the basketball. We have past perfect and good plus have plus past participle. Type 3 again. It is easier to digest your food if you chew it well. It's present simple appear to be chew. That's also present simple. Type 0. Finally, if Tom gave up smoking, he would feel a lot healthier. Simple past and good plus the very simple form. Type 2. Check your answers and let's go to the next part. Now, match the columns to make conditional sentences. You have 1, you won't feel hungry. And you have A, you're not ready for the race. B, I not have indigestion. C, I be you. D, if you eat breakfast every morning. E, I no need to buy one. And F, you tone your stomach. So let's start. You won't feel hungry, okay? And in this case, if you, if you won't feel hungry if you eat your breakfast every morning, unless you start training now, okay? You won't be ready for the race. If I taking a bottle of water, And let's see if, if I taking a bottle of water, let's see E, I wouldn't need to buy one. Now, 4, if you do sit-ups, now you don't, if you do sit-ups, you will tone your stomach muscles. If I hadn't eaten so much, what? I wouldn't have an indigestion. 6, I cut out red meat. And if I were you, please check your answers and let's go to the next part. Now, it's time to put the verb in the correct tense, okay? So you won't feel hungry if you eat, in this case is the first conditional, unless you start training now. You can see that also that is present simple in the result clause on the main part. Now, unless you start training now, you won't be ready for the race. If I taking a bottle of water, this is past perfect. If I taking a bottle of water, I wouldn't have needed to buy one. If you do sit-ups, you will tone your stomach muscles. If I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't have had, sorry, because this is a third conditional indigestion. I cut out red meat. I would cut out red meat if I were you. Please check your answer. Let's go to the next part. Now we have to decide what type of conditional we are using. So please get ready. Now, 1, you won't feel hungry if you eat breakfast every morning. We're using simple present plus will, type 1. Unless you start training, present simple. You will not ready, type 1. If I had taken a bottle of water, past perfect, I would not have needed to buy one. Good plus have plus past participle, type 3. If you do sit-ups, present simple, you will tone your stomach. Future, with will. If I hadn't eaten so much, past perfect, I wouldn't have had an indigestion, type 3. I cut out red meat. I would cut out red meat, the use of good plus the very simple form. And in the if part, past simple, I were you. That's type 2. Please check your answers. Okay. Let's go to the next part. Complete the sentence now. Here you have to use personal information. You have to use your own responses. And this time I'm going to I'm going to show you the examples of the book. Then do your own versions, okay? Let's start. If I had enough time.
If I had enough time, I would take up a hobby.
Number 2, if you eat more fruit.
If you eat more fruit, you will be healthier.
Number 3, unless you start exercising.
Unless you start exercising, you will never get in shape.
Number 4, if I were you.
If I were you, I would stop eating junk food.
Number 5, if I had joined a gym.
If I had joined a gym, I would have got in shape.
Okay, please check your answer. Let's go to the next part. Now we're going to study the use of wish, and we use wish or if only. Wish and if only, they are used to express a wish. The only difference between wish and if only is that if only is used in the exactly same manner as wish, but it's more emphatic or more dramatic. Okay, so when we want to express a wish, un deseo, in the present, we need to use the following structure: I wish or if only, and use the past simple or past continuous. Okay, for example, if only, or I wish chocolate. Then use the simple past was also Fatima. So I could eat as much as I wanted. Now, when you use wish or if only plus the simple past or past continue, we use it to say that we would like something to be different in the present. Now, let's suppose we want to express a wish in the past. We need to use wish or if only, okay? But this time we're going to use past perfect, okay? So I wish plus the past perfect. And when you use wish or if only plus past perfect, we use it to express a regret about something which happened or didn't happen, but in the past, okay? For example, if only I hadn't eaten so much ice cream. So this situation happened in the past, my stomach hurt so much, okay? So we use wish plus past perfect to express a wish in the past, okay? Now, also we can use wish of only plus good plus the very simple form to express a polite request, sorry. If only, or I wish you would tell us the truth about the matter. Okay, these are some two more uses of wish. So, and also we use wish plus the subject plus good plus a modal. Pretty much subject plus a modal plus the very simple form to express a desire for a future situation or person's behavior to change. If only I wish my brother wouldn't play. So I wish my brother wouldn't play. You are expressing a desire for a future situation, or that someone change his behavior. Okay. Now let's come back and let's go to the exercise. Okay. Right away, it says, "What does each person wish for?" Write sentences as in the example. Okay. So let's start. Now, let's start with number one. You have Max worked so late, so he didn't go to the gym. We have to make a wish. In this case, it's in simple past, worked. So we have to use I wish of if only, and we need to use past perfect. I had gone to the gym, or I wish of if only I didn't have to work late. Remember, when you use past perfect, you are making a wish for the past. Now, let's see. Sam can cook and eat ready-made meals. Now, in this case, I wish I only. And for simple, when you want to express a wish in simple present, you use the simple past. If I wish I could cook. Or I wish I didn't eat ready-made meals, okay? Because remember, when you use wish plus simple past is to express a wish in the present. Wish plus past perfect is a wish in the past. Then we have three. Jane didn't eat breakfast and is starving now. It's in past. We can see the first part is in past. So I wish I, past perfect. I had eaten breakfast. Second part is starting now. It's an action happening now in the present. So I wish I, and we're going to follow the rule about the conditionals. We use were instead of was. I weren't starving right now, okay? Number four, okay? So, Lucy then training off. So we have the first part is in simple past and lost the race. Both parts are in simple past. I wish we need to use past perfect, sorry. I hadn't, trained more. Oh, I wish I hadn't lost the race. 5. Amy drank coffee after dinner and didn't sleep well. I wish. So let's see the first part, drank coffee after dinner and didn't sleep well. In both parts, and we're talking about the past. So we're going to express a regret about the past. I wish I hadn't drank, sorry, I wish I hadn't, yes, I wish I hadn't drunk coffee after dinner. The second part is also in simple past. I wish, or if only. I wish I, or if only I had slept well, okay? Now, Danny is on a diet and can't have desserts. Both parts are in present simple. It's a wish in present. I wish I weren't. Okay, we really follow the section of the conditionals. Here about using were instead of was. I wish I weren't on a diet. I wish I could have desserts. So please check your answers and let's go to the next part. Section 6, speaking. Now you're going to say 2 things that you wish you did or had and 2 things you wish you hadn't done. Okay, so first you're going to say 2 things that you wish you did or you had and 2 things you wish you hadn't done. You have to write them in your student's book in a piece of paper, a note, because this is an example. In class, I'm going to ask you for your own examples. Listen and read examples.
I wish I had gone to bed early last night. If only I didn't have so much schoolwork. I wish I had more free time. If only I hadn't stayed up so late last night.
Okay, guys, let's go to the next part. Now, we're going to study about infinitive and gerunds, verb patterns, okay? This is a review from your previous courses, so let's start. Now, we're going to make a review very quickly about verb patterns, about gerund and infinitive. So let's start. The infinitive and ing form, the gerund. So let's start with infinitive. The infinitive is used to express purpose. For example, she has started taking vitamins to strengthen her immune system. Also, the infinitive is used after certain verbs, like agree, ask, appear, decide, expect, hope, plan, promise, refuse, help, need. The verb help can also be followed by a verb infinitive without to. So these are commonly known as verb patterns, and if you need, you can ask me in class for a list. Here's an example. She has decided to make changes in her lifestyle to become healthier. Now, the infinitive is used after would like, would prefer, would love to express a specific preference. For example, I would prefer to exercise outdoors, but it's too cold at the moment. Also, the infinitive is used after adjectives which describe feelings or emotion, like happy, glad, sad, express also willingness or unwillingness, eager, reluctant, willing, or refer to a person's character, clever, kind, and the adjectives lucky and fortunate. For example, even though he's got a toothache, he is unwilling to go to the dentist, okay? So, in a nutshell, we use infinitive after adjectives that describe emotions, feelings, after expression like willingness or unwillingness, and after a person's character. Also, we use infinitive after the verbs would like, would prefer, good, love, after the verbs agree, ask, appear, decide, expect, hope, plan, promise. And also we use the infinitive to express a purpose, okay? Now, also we use infinitive after to or enough. For example, Beth is too sick to go to school, and Beth is not well enough to go to school. Now, something that is called the very infinitive, the infinitive without to, or in other words, the very simple form is used after modals, like can, could, should, must, might, good, well, ought to, okay? All of them, after modals, are used with the very simple form. For example,
Ian shouldn't eat so much.
now the very infinitive, or the verb after the verbs let, make, see, hear, and feel, don't use the infinitive. We use the very simple form. For example, Mike's mom makes him eat vegetables every day. However, if you use a passive voice, then use the infinitive. Mike is made to eat vegetables by his mom every day. Also, after had better and would rather, you need to use the very simple form. For example, I would rather cook something than order a takeaway. Now, the gerund. The gerund is used as a noun. That means it can be the subject or the object of a sentence. For example, swimming is his favorite sport. Swimming here is the subject. Now, his favorite sport is swimming. So, in this case, swimming is the object. Also, the gerund or the ing form is used after certain verbs like admit, appreciate, avoid, deny, enjoy, fancy, finish, imagine, risk, and suggest. Okay? For example,
My friend suggested ordering a pizza for dinner.
that's good. Let's go to the next part. Now, the gerund is used after the verb go to express activities like go shopping, go swimming, go bowling, go canoeing, okay? So you have go plus a verb, you need to use ing. Here's an example.
I always make a list of the things I need before I go shopping.
Okay, good. Also, the ing form, the gerund, is used after dislike, enjoy, hate, like, love, prefer, don't mind, to express general preference, okay? Here are some examples. Note, for a specific preference, we use to infinitive after these verbs.
Sharon loves meditating because it relaxes her. She prefers to meditate in the morning.
In the first part, she loves meditating is a general preference. However, in the second one, she prefers to meditate in the morning is a specific preference. The gerund, the ing form, is used after expressions such as be, see, be used to, is not used. Be careful with be used to. Is not used to, is be used to, is not used, is not word, can help, look forward to, can stand, there is no point in, and there are some more expressions.
I can't help snacking between meals.
Good. Also, the ing form is used, this is a always rule, an always rule. If you have a preposition, after any preposition, use the gerund. For example, I'm thinking about is a preposition, after a preposition, use the gerund, taking.
I am thinking about taking a 2-week holiday because I have been working very hard lately.
Okay, let's go to the next part. Now, let's start with the exercise. Ready? It says, 7. Look at the grammar. Section, uncompleted rules for the infinitive with and without to, or the ing form. So let's start. Like, love, hate, enjoy, don't mind, plus. Usually they are followed by the ing form. Deny, avoid, miss, fancy, imagine. They are followed by the ing form. Good like, good love, good prefer, plus is followed by the infinitive. Go is followed plus the gerund. To plus adjective or an adverb is followed plus the infinitive. Adjective or an adverb plus enough is followed by the infinitive. Enough plus a noun is followed by the infinitive. Now, modals can, should, must, may is followed by the infinitive. Sorry, modals, any modal is followed by the very simple form, infinitive without to. Make and let is followed also with infinitive without to, or in other words, the very simple form. Look forward, be used to, can help is followed by the gerund. Preposition is followed by the gerund. Want, decide, ask, and expect is followed with the infinitive. Please check your answer. Let's go to the next part. Let's go to section 8. Put the in brackets into the correct form. Okay. And it says, check in the grammar section. Let's start. It says, I really want. After want, we need to use the verb, the infinitive, I want to have. Now, when you gerunds are used also as a noun, and a noun can start a sentence. Doing exercise will help you. More exercise will help you. Now, how about after a preposition, any preposition, the rule says use a gerund. How about playing tennis? Now, I prefer. After I prefer, you need to use the infinitive, to go. I need. Now, need is usually when it's inactive, it has an active meaning. It's used with the gerund, I need to lose. If in case you have you use need with a passive meaning, you need to use the gerund. Now, you should, after any modal, you use the verb in simple form. Now, I can get used to. Now, here, after be used to and get used to, you need to use the verb in ing. Cooking. For myself at university. Me too. I miss. After miss, you need to use the verb in ing. Miss sitting down at home, cook Sunday lunch. After let's, the verb goes in simple form. Let's eat out tonight. And finally, do you fancy? After fancy, we need to use the verb in ing. Fancy going to this new Chinese restaurant? Please check your answers. Let's go to the next part, guys. We are almost done. Okay, let's go to the next part. Put the verb in brackets into the correct form. How do they differ in meaning? Check in the grammar section. Okay. ¿Quiere que lo queme? It says put the brackets into the correct form. How do they differ in meaning? Check in the grammar section. So let's start. After remember. Okay, now here there are a difference in meaning, okay? I need to show you this. Now, verbs taking the to infinitive of the ing form with change in meaning. When you have forget plus infinitive means not remember to do something. Have forget plus ing, it means not recall doing something, okay? Now, if you have remember plus infinitive, it means not to forget. Remember plus the ing form, it means to recall. Now, regret plus infinitive means be sorry. Two, it's normal use in the present simple and is followed by verbs such as say, tell, inform. Regret plus the ing form, feel very sorry about. Now, stop plus infinitive means stop, make a break. So stop and make a break to do something else. Stop plus ing, to quit, finish, to give up. Try plus infinitive, attempt to do one's best. Try plus the gerund, to do something as experiment. Mean plus the infinitive, intend to. Mean plus the ing, it means involve, okay? So let's start. Remember, in this case is, don't forget, so we need to use the infinitive, don't forget to buy some milk. I remember, recall, when you are using remember and you want to have the meaning of recall, you need to use buying milk, but I think I left it on the bus. Jill stopped when she hurt her leg. In this case, we're going to say that we gave up something. We stopped doing something. When you give up or you stop doing something forever, you need to use the ing, running. Then while running, Jill stopped, drink some water. Now, here we want to say that we make a break. We took a break. So we need to use the infinitive to drink some water. We regret. Now, when you want to say you are sorry, you need to use the infinitive. We regret to tell you that you failed the test. B, he regret. When you regret of doing something in the past, you need to use the ing. He regretted asking Dave to go with them. Please check your answer and let's go to the next part. Keyword transformation. Now, let's start. You can get fit no matter how old you are. So, in other words, you are never too old to get fit. Okay. Remember, you have to use between 2 and 5 words. Number 2, to lose weight, eat less junk food. So, you won't lose any weight unless you eat less junk food. Number 3, you shouldn't go out today if. So we can see that this is a second conditional. If I were you, I wouldn't go out. Jane slept because it was icy. Now, let's take a look to the second part of the sentence. In the second part, we can see that we have good, have, plus the past participle. So this is a third conditional. If it hadn't, we need to use present past perfect here, hadn't been, I see Jane wouldn't have sleep. I don't have money, so I can't go to the gym. So if, let's see the second part, I would join a gym. So if, in this case, we need to use the simple past. If I had more money, oh, it's already more money there, I join a gym, okay? So please check your answers. Oh, sorry, here's a small mistake, misspelling. Now, it's perfect. Okay, please check your answer, and this is the end of the lesson. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. See you in class.